Yes, welcome to the Afrocenturies podcast. Yes, welcome to the Afrocenturies podcast. My name is Ejiro Osakede and I'm always delighted. So you already know the next line I'm going to use. I am delighted to be here today. How are you doing? How has been your week? I hope you had a productive week. For me, yes, it's been productive with a little bit of ups and downs here and there. But yes, we made it till Friday. So thank God it's Friday. And guess what? It's the last Friday of April and actually the last day of April. Woohoo! How was April for you? I hope it was great, right? Well, it's a special month for me. It was my birth month. I had a great birthday and I had friends who also celebrated their birthday. It felt like great people were born in April, right? All right. So if you remember last week, I told you that from today, I'm going to be having a co-host. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. And you know what? A lot of things happened that made it feel like it wasn't going to happen. But no, we are stronger. We don't give up. We said, you know what? We're going to do this with what we've got. And that's why we don't have a video edition for today as well. But yes, ring the bell, drum roll. I am going to bring my co-host on now, who goes by the name Daniel, all the way from Ghana. Hey, Charlie, how are you doing?
Hi, Charlie. How's everybody? That was quite an introduction, and I'm quite excited to be here. I heard you sing in your introduction. I don't know if I'm supposed to also sing too. I'm very terrible at singing, so I think I'm just going to have to skip the singing part. Yeah, so I'm super excited to be here. My name is Daniel, like you already said, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's been usually me on the listening end, and I never imagined that I'd be on whatever this end is called. Yeah, where I get to also talk to.
Absolutely.
Yes, so I'm very, very excited. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, listeners and everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for coming on board. It's my pleasure, I loved, when you reached out to me and like, hey, I want to be a guest. I'm like, hey, you write, you speak, you have some radio experience. How about if you want to jump on this and be a part of it as a co-host? And I like that you took up that challenge. And I'm really looking forward to the amazing things that, this collaboration is going to do for you as well. So welcome on board.
Thank you very much. Like you said, a lot of things had come in a way to make sure that this doesn't happen, but I'm happy this is happening. And yes, people would like to call me the guy who wants to do almost everything. He's here on TV, he's here on radio, he's writing today, he's working in the bank, he's a sales executive. I feel people are not created to do just one thing. I feel if you have the opportunity to do a lot of things, you should try your hands. This is your life. You only live once. So once you have the opportunity, you should try everything.
You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. You only live once. And yes, we are multi-influential humans. Like that's how we are wired. We're not wired to be one thing. True. Right, we have light flowing through us in different direction. It's just that you probably won't be many things at the same time.
True.
But you can be different things at different times in your life. Absolutely, I agree with you. All right, guys. So today being the last day of the month, we just thought, how do we close this month? And guess what? Today is the last day of the month. This is the 13th episode of the season 2 of the Afrocenturies podcast, which means technically from next week, we are moving on to season 3. Woohoo! And so I thought, okay, how do we close this up? And if you know anything about me so far, I've not said this enough, but I'm working towards saying it every episode so that you can get it. Like the Afrocenturies podcast is positioned to help you think around, self-improvement, self-development, and things that just makes you a better version of yourself, okay? And so whether we are inviting a guest, talking about business. We're talking about how can you improve your business, right? Whether we're talking to a career person, we are talking about how can you become a better career person. So basically, the podcast is, around self-improvement for Africans, right? So, and that's why it is called Afrocenturies, because we want to celebrate Africa, but at the same time, we want to, add value to our continent by helping us think around how we can improve ourselves. And so that will lead me to what we're going to be talking about briefly today, myself and Daniel. We're going to be talking about our top 6 skills for self-improvement, right? It's the end of the month. It's time to reflect, right? We want to, be a part of that journey for you, to kickstart it for you. Like, as the month ends today, being the last Friday of April and the last day in April, like, how about you now take out time on this beautiful Friday as you slide into the weekend to think through, okay, what can I improve? What improvement skills do I need to add on? What new one do I need to add on? Which of the ones I currently have can I improve on, right? And that's what we're going to be sharing with you. 6 skills for self-improvement, our top 6 skills. So I'll be sharing 3 from my end, and Daniel will be sharing 3 from his end. I mean, they say ladies first, but I've been talking, so I guess you go first.
Okay.
So you share one, I share one, and we take turns like that.
All right. So let's just get to it. So our number 1 self-improvement skill from my end is communication skill. Communication is something that looks like everybody can pull off, but it is this small factor that tends to show how things are going to go probably in the long haul. Communication skill, how you relate to people, how you talk to them, your listening, how you're able to listen, your listening ability, and can show or can prove how something is going to work out great. So if you have good communication skills, it's a way or a step in the right direction to improve yourself. So I think everybody should look into that.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing yours. Okay, so I'll share my first, but then that will be number 2. Okay, so he said communication skills number 1, and I'm going to go with number 2 now. And my first skill that I think people should just sit on this season is time management skills. Like, this is a very vital skill that we all must take time to master. Now, I'm not even going to pretend that I have a hang of this yet, but what I would say is this. The time that I've been able to get productive work done are those times that I was able to apply time management skills to getting my tasks done. So I will share some, that have worked for me personally, and maybe one that I think that I just found out and I want to learn and I want to work on as we go on into the month of May. All right. So one of the tools that has helped me, management tools that has helped me, is creating a to-do list. Right? So creating a to-do list ahead of time, it has helped me a lot, either on a weekly basis, like Sundays, for example, are my rest day, my Sabbath. And then I just take time to say, okay, these are the things that I want to do for the rest of the week. So either I do that or I do it a night before. So the periods or any time that I do that, I'm able to get more work done that week or the next day, because I've settled like, okay, these are the things that I want to do. This works all the time because I'm able to consider which is my biggest or hardest tasks and have that on top of the list. And once I'm able to get that one done, it just gives me momentum for the other items on the list. And sometimes I just get the hardest one done and I feel good, right? It gives me momentum. Another, tool that I use is switching off distraction to tackle a task, and this one I'm still learning. Like, I need to improve. This is one of those ones that I need to improve on, because I can't. I'm working on shutting my eyes to notifications. I've turned off the notifications on my phones, for example, so that I don't get notified, because I can't. Like, I feel like I'm addicted to responding to notifications. So I'm working on that currently to shut it out so that I don't respond instinctively. Once you know that feeling, sometimes you just feel like, my phone is vibrating. Meanwhile, it's not vibrating.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
So I'm so I'm working on that. And then the other tool that I use is thinking about the task ahead of time. Like, when I sit and create like I think through the task and I create like an imagery of what I want to do, it kind of helps me. Like once I see it from A to Z or from start to finish, how I'm going to do this task, the moment I step on it, I get it done, like without distraction, focus with laser focus, and I get it done. So for me, it really helps me to actually even think about the tasks first and just know that, okay, this is what I want to do. Like it works all the time. Is that for me, for example, I don't eat much, right? And I've recently just grown a bit weary of cooking as well, right? But the moment I sit and say, okay, this is what I want to eat, this is what I need to do to cook the food, I would actually play it all out in my head. And once I stand up, I'll make sure I get it done exactly how I thought of it. So that has also helped me in managing my time. And so one of the ones that I feel like I just read from Brian Tracy recently is, to explore applying the ABCDE rule. And so A stands for like putting your task, even as a to-do list, for example, but arranging your task in A, B, C, D, E format, right? Tasks A's are the tasks that are very important tasks. The ones you categorize under B are tasks with lesser consequences. C are tasks with no consequences. D are tasks that you can delegate, have somebody else do it. E are tasks that you can eliminate, like you don't even necessarily have to do it, right? So this one I need to try out as we enter into May. Yeah, so that's my number one skill, time management skill that I think that we need, that I want to share with you today. Or self-improvement skill, yeah? And it's time management. Okay, so Daniel, your turn.
My self-improvement skill number 3 is actually my personal favorite because it helps to getting what you want without asking or begging too much, which is customer service. When it comes to customer service, it's not always the clerk or somebody dressed in a suit and pulled up socks sitting in the front desk. No. When it comes to customer service, it applies whenever you want something and you are in the receiving or asking end of something. When somebody else is on the side where they can have your needs met, they are your customer. So, for example, your dad, who you want money for an excursion, could be your customer. And I'm sure most of our listeners are nice. Also business people, entrepreneurs. You probably have jobs that you do, and then sometimes it's kind of hard getting what you want. So with customer service skills, adopting customer service skills, it helps you get what you want quite easier and faster. And the first tool is remembering the name of your customer. This might seem very somehow insignificant, but trust me, it really does wonders. Yeah. My time at the bank wasn't so long, was quite short, but then one thing I was able to notice was that whenever a customer comes in, some of them can even come and then they're probably angry for bad service or not getting their cash in time or not being responded to, or probably some anger from somewhere else that you need to dump somewhere, and then unfortunate employees got to take the heat. So I noticed that whenever the customer service, the CSO, the customer service officer would mention the customer's name, it calms
them down.
Very,
Woo, I like it.
Shocking way. It shocks me. I'm at a distance. I'm like, this person has brought heat here. How are we going to calm this down? And he's like creating a scene, and all of a sudden his name is mentioned, and then he calms down. I noticed that people like it when they are being noticed. It makes them feel part of something. Yeah. So noticing them, they feel like, oh, you know me, you know my name, you know I am something, you know I'm important to your business. That's what it makes them feel. So simple things like just remembering somebody's name, calling them by their name. I mean, it's nice to call people sir and madam. It's formality and it's nice. But then calling people by their name has this human or personal touch to it that does wonders. That's my first skill. And the second one will be checking up on your customers. Whenever you call them, it doesn't have to always be about we have this new product today. Would you like to buy? Are you interested in our new product? This one will be good for you. No. What really helps business grow, or what helps you improve yourself, is when you have or you create personal relationships with your customers or people you deal with. They could be your friends. Forget about the customer on this thing. It's not really so necessary. But your relationship, how you relate to people, how you make them feel important, can get you what you want without you even asking. When they see you are in need, like you are this very important person who, from their perspective, cares about them. It makes them ask themselves questions like, what can I do to make you happy? Yeah. So for self-improvement skill number 3, my second tool will be checking up on your customers. So over to you.
All right. I love it. I love the sound of it, like checking up and then remembering people's name. I'm really not great at it. I need customer care skills. I do need it because I'm not I'm working on it, right? Okay. To remember people's name, especially when they are quiet and when they're not very energetic like myself. So it would take me interacting with them over and over again to have their name stick. Yeah, but I thank you for sharing that one.
Welcome.
I love it. All right, so number 4, which is my second skill for improvement, for self-improvement, is listening skills. And I think Daniel mentioned a little bit of it when he was talking about communication. I love this quote from Stevie Covey. He says, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. I have in recent times been working towards building capacity in listening. Like I would literally hold myself, right? And it's amazing what you hear when you truly listen to people, because you're able to pick even the things that they are not saying when you listen, because you'll be able to listen to, when you listen, it's not just about hearing, it's about being in the conversation such that you see, if it's a physical conversation, for example, you can see the mannerism, you can see the body language. It's also part of listening. But when it's just, let's say, a virtual communication, which is something that we've all had to deal with in the past 1 year, over a year now, is the fact that when you listen, you are able to hear the tonation. You're able to know from listening to the person intently, to really understand, to know the feeling that the person is passing on, whether the person is happy, sad, depressed, worried. You should be able to pick it, and you won't be able to do that if you are listening to reply the person. So this one, like I said, I am a work in progress, and I'm totally sold out to learning. So as a rule of thumb, I think the quote earlier, keeps you in check. So when you are in a conversation, like the next time you're in a conversation, check to know if you are just listening to reply or listening to understand, right? For me in the past, I'm quick to interrupt whoever I'm in conversation with, right? Because I just want to reply. I just want to say my own. Like, let me talk my own. But since I started paying attention to my listening skill, I am gradually getting better at it. So I encourage you to do the same. All right, so over to you, Daniel.
I can really testify with the magic listening skill does. Once you listen, you don't only get how people feel or the vibe they are giving off, but then you also tend to learn more, because when someone notices that you are paying attention to what they are saying, they would like to open up more and teach you a lot more about.
True.
So I really agree with that.
True.
And the 5th skill for self-improvement from my side, which is my final one, is one of the hardest, but but it's very important, which is research skill.
Ooh, nice.
It's very nice to say we want to improve ourselves. It's very nice to say these are the skills we would like to follow for self-improvement, but then it's also difficult to put in the work. Doing the groundwork can be very, very difficult sometimes. People feel lazy. But then I've not really grown so much, but with this short journey in my life, I've come to understand that most of the skills, if not all, can be found on the internet. Yeah. And I'll just give an example. There was this time a friend of mine didn't know how to convert her document to a PDF form. Yeah. So she reached out to me, and I was like, this is not so difficult. I have seen it done somewhere. I have done it myself. But then why does it look like a big deal to this person? I mean, they could have easily looked it up on the internet.
Searched.
Yeah, but then so I'll take the opportunity. I will eat your money. Exactly. It's something I can easily do. So I felt that I put in the work to study this particular skill. So it's me eating off it. Yeah. And I've had.
Oh, so you charge for that kind of service, even right?
Installing WhatsApp, I will charge you, please. This year, you're all about money. I am looking for money seriously. So wherever I find it, I will take it. Yeah. So you will be surprised at the thing that people find it difficult, like find in doing. True. I mean, you have a smartphone like me. You texted me on WhatsApp, obviously. So you could easily look it up and then find out ways of doing it. I mean, YouTube now. Just go to YouTube and type how to.
There's nothing you cannot learn.
There's a how-to for everything. There's even a how-to for how to breathe, how to eat on YouTube. So I wonder why people feel lazy. I don't know if it's the laziness or they just don't know that most all the answers are on the internet. And me, I will take every opportunity and take your money. So.
Are you an opportunist?
I'm a businessman.
Oh, I love it.
So research skills are very, very important. You don't know what you would learn. And it's very, very easy to get distracted. Yes, I know. But then if you're a focused person, once you get there, you know what you want, you stay on it. You will notice that your feeds, the results you get from search engines,
it's beginning to align to what you're searching the more. What
you're looking for and align to things that would improve you. Once the internet is a set of algorithms that
the AI is just getting better and better.
So once they notice that this person is here to learn, they're like, okay, let's help him. If you're here to music videos and then what things are, there's nothing unnecessary, but you already get what I'm trying to say. You're trying to look for something else, they'll get you that. I took my mom's phone one time. I was trying to use her YouTube. I clicked in a how-to, and I was getting more religious
searches, because that's what she searched for more.
Prophecies, deliverance and prayers and casting out demons and all that. I was wondering how this was related to what I wanted, but then it made sense in the end. I mean, if you take my phone, you see tutorials on how to bake something. I mean, so there are so many opportunities on the internet how to improve yourself. Yeah, the self-improvement in its physical form is research. Yeah. So if you're looking for how to make yourself better or how to improve on yourself, you could learn some skills. You don't know where you would find yourself or how handy they could come in. You don't know where you
later on.
So because I found myself in places where I'm just the writer, but then they need somebody to design a logo, to edit a video, and then I've been able to share a few ideas that were helpful. So this way it's bettering me and also bettering my opportunities. Someone sees me and like, this guy is everywhere, he can do almost thing. So why don't you call you and ask him, can you do this? The first MC job I did, I didn't tell anybody I was an MC. I was just there on my own. But it's like I created a reputation for myself that I could do everything. I did stand.
You can do all things. Awesome.
If you check my WhatsApp status, it's there. I have no limits. It's been there for like almost 5 years now. I haven't changed.
Wow. Awesome. I love it.
So the MC gig came to me because they felt that this guy can do almost everything, so why not run this by him? And then I took it. I didn't know how to do it or what to do to make it happen, but then I took it. I believe that you shouldn't say no to any challenge. Once it's something that you can do, even if you don't know how to do it, you can ask people for help. You can learn. And then once you do it and you don't even do it well, you fail. It's also
there is still a learning curve, exactly. Because the next time you do it, you'll be better.
I saw something on Instagram. The guy he posted a picture and then the caption was "failing forward." Me and my busybody self and my Obasabi went to tell him that he had made a mistake and that it was supposed to be sailing forward. It was it's actually failing forward, and there's actually a book on it. Failing forward, that you fall, you rise, you don't stay where you are, but then you move forward.
You move forward.
So I kept that to myself. It was embarrassing because now you can't even delete comments on Instagram anymore. So my disgrace is still there. But I'm happy.
Why can't you? You can really? Delete though.
That is different on my phone. No, I can't delete any comment. So I'm careful what I do on the internet now.
That's good.
So I was able to learn something. You fail forward. You don't fail and stay where you are, or you don't fail and sulk and go back. So you fail and so as you research research, you learn new things, come across new ways to do stuff, and then it makes you a better person. It makes you a versatile person. So that's
absolutely. Wow, I love it. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So I love it. Like, what's funny to me is, what your mom was searching. Like African mothers though. Like, can they let the demons be, please?
If our mothers, our African mothers, grew on a different planet, because like they all same kind of brain. All in sync. All of them are the same.
Oh my God, it's funny. Anyway, so rounding off on our top 6 skills for self-improvement is my final one, which is my number 3, but in total number 6, and is reading skills. I mean, this goes without saying. So I think this ties up to all of them, because at the end of the day, for you to even get better, you have to be a reader. And I mean, for me, I would say that I'm big on audio rather than reading. But the truth is, it's just that sometimes it might pose as an excuse if you lean on that. So the important thing is, if you can read WhatsApp messages, if you can read Facebook posts, if you can read Instagram posts, why can't you read a book? Right? So that's just it. So just create time for it. Create time. Like, I have my iPad is full of books. I know I don't like read fast. Like I'm it's easier for me to assimilate in audio than text, right? Because if I'm reading text, for example, I can read like a paragraph over and over again before what's there sinks. So how I even read personally is I read out loud. And I think it's even also helping my narration skills and my speaking skills, right? That's how I read, right? I read out loud. It helps me, it helps me focus at that point. But when I'm reading silently, just like, I read this thing, but it felt like I've not read it before. Read it again. So I read out loud. When I read out loud, it stays. So it's for you to understand how you learn, but by all means, reading has to be one of your top skills, because that's how you learn. Right? Even when you're going to research how to do this, how to do that, some of these things, yes, you can watch a lot of YouTube videos, but even in the video, sometimes they still put in the description below some more information. You need to read, on different resources online. So reading skills is quite important. I mean, as long as you are, literate and you know how to read, then I think it's something that you need to keep doing to get better at on a daily basis. So this is my third skill that I think we all need to zone in on and become better at. Just like for me now, I'm trying to say, okay, how can I read faster? I can read, right? But how can I read faster? How can I understand what I'm reading faster? Okay, so these are our top 6 skills for self-improvement. I'm just going to go over them just as pointers, as a way to bring it all together. So we started with number 1, time management skills. Number 2, in order of how we shared it was: number 1, communication skills; number 2, time management skills; number 3, customer service skills; number 4, listening skills; number 5, research skills; and number 6, reading skills. I do hope that all of these skills are going to help you as you step into the new month, and you're going to look at them and see which one you want to jump on and focus on for the month of May, right? So this is what we have for you today. But before we go, I'm going to ask you, Daniel, to, just probably say something to round up. But before I do that, let me just make some quick announcements. So if you're listening to this podcast, it's been hosted on Anchor, for example, and there's a way that you can support what we're doing at the Afrocenturies podcast. You can go to the main channel on Anchor and support, right? So you can support for as low as 99 cents every month, and you can do that and just support us so that we're able to, get more resources and be able to serve you better. Also, follow us on our social media platform, the Afrocenturies on Instagram, the Afrocenturies on Twitter. Although I don't really tweet much because Twitter is too rugged for me, right? But we're there as well. And then on Facebook, the Afrocenturies Hub. Okay. And personally, I am Ejiro Osakede across social media platform, so you can check me out. All right, Daniel, what do you have to say as we round up?
Okay, before I say anything final, I'd like to touch on something you said earlier about reading out loud. When you said it, I smiled because I had heard you say it one time, and reading to myself had been quite a challenge. I could read and then get to a certain line. I know I've read this line, but I don't remember what it said because it did. Yeah. But then when you said we should read out loud, I tried that skill, and then it's been really helpful. When I read out loud, it's like I'm waking myself up, and like something is happening. Respond.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have all these skills: time management, listening, reading, communication, customer service, and a whole lot of them, so on and so forth. But then there's a skill that I think without all this can't come to be. So I think, and that skill is self-love. You need to love yourself. You need to be happy. Once you're happy with yourself, you're comfortable with yourself, you are comfortable in your own skin, you are able to go about this skill. So my advice for everybody is to be happy. If you are doing something that isn't making you happy, you should probably stop or think about it. Yeah, because this life, you only live once. So that's all I have to say. Self-love.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So this is where we draw the curtain today until we come your way again next week with another episode on the Afrocenturies podcast. Remain amazing and happy new month in advance. Bye.
Bye-bye.